Hello, everybody. Wild Bill for America here. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I can't sleep, so there's only one thing to do, and that's bug you guys. Let's see what's in the news. My news time goes a lot faster now that I've eliminated anything that has to do with Glenn Beck. After he sank down to the level of MSNBC, I put him and his websites in my computer's trash bin. Life is better now. But here's one that'll bring out the fangs of every person who has a conscience. Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards has gone public with the message that, get this, defunding Planned Parenthood will hurt babies. You've got to be kidding me. Cecile Richards, you are a baby killing, bloodthirsty, satanic walking nightmare, as are most of your employees. How dare you butcher children, sell their body parts, and then make a stupid statement like that? Judgment Day is coming, lady. And you know who's going to be in the audience when you stand before Jesus Christ to answer for your deeds? About 50 million little aborted souls. The London Independent is reporting that Muslims are now being issued metallic biters, an instrument with sharp metal teeth with which they can grab, rip, and tear the flesh of any woman who goes out in public without being completely covered according to Islamic demands. You know, you Muslim guys have bullied the poor women of the Middle East so much that you can probably get away with that nonsense over there. But you try that in the USA, you're going to find that American women also have metal instruments. They're called 9 millimeters. If you're offended by that, get used to it, because the Second Amendment is not going away. But Barack Obama is. Bishop Robert Carlson of St. Louis is warning the Catholics of that area to scale back their support of the Girl Scouts and to avoid even buying their cookies, because the Girl Scouts organization is completely sold out to supporting the homosexual transgender movements. The bishop is right. Men and women who claim to be followers of God have a duty to represent God at all times and in all things, especially when an organization promoting itself as beneficial to kids are luring those kids into a lifestyle of disease, death, depression, and eventually eternal damnation. Now, normally when I'm approached by the sellers of Girl Scout cookies, I get to say my piece. You know why? Because most of the time it's the mothers selling the cookies. But the other day I was coming out of the grocery store, and it was a pudgy little kid with a big grin on her face. Said, "Excuse me, sir, would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies?" And all I could do is smile and say, "No, thank you." I see we have yet another example of white racism. 3 black female college students from the University of Albany called 911 to report that they had been jumped on a bus because they were black. They reported that they were attacked by 3 white men who shouted the N-word at them. The community threw a rally for these girls, and the 3 of them shed big alligator tears and played the victim. And then something happened. The cops investigated and reviewed the videotapes from the bus. Turns out the 3 little darlings had attacked a 19-year-old white girl, and the 3 white men were trying to break up the fight. Now the 3 little darlings who started the fight and then called 911 to lie about the good guys are going to face criminal charges. You know, sadly, my friends, this story is an example of what is often passed off as white racism. Thankfully, an honest investigation was done that cleared the innocent and charged the guilty. No word yet on whether Al Sharpton is going to send a mob to burn that city. and I see down at the bottom of the article that Hillary Clinton tweeted her support for the 3 black students. Yeah, that's an endorsement to be proud of. Okay, what's next? WorldNet Daily is reporting that a 3-year-old boy in Egypt has been sentenced to life in prison. Gotta love that Sharia law. Now, what did Ahmed, the 3-year-old boy, do to deserve life in prison? Well, his father took him to a political rally in 2014. Kid would have been about a year and a half old. And apparently that rally got out of hand and 3 people were killed. It looks like the Egyptian authorities simply declared that anyone who was there is guilty and will spend the rest of their lives in prison. Wow. You can bet that the liberal Democrats of America are swooning over that and fantasizing about what they could do to Tea Party and outspoken Christians if only they could set up a similar system in this country. Oh, yes, there is a good reason why they're trying to stomp out the Constitution. Good news, though, Egypt has backed off on arresting little Ahmed. Well, here's an uplifting article. Queen Elizabeth has a new book out in which she calls Jesus Christ the King whom she serves. She writes, quote, "I have indeed seen his faithfulness." The Queen went excuse me. The Queen went on to write about her concern for the Christians who are being slaughtered, massacred in the Middle East by Muslims. I am touched to hear this from the Queen of England. But I must ask if the Queen has equal concern for the people of England who are poised to be overrun by Islamists from the Middle East. You know, there's already been bloodshed in the streets of London, and there will be more. Perhaps this will be a good time for the Queen to call all of England to join her in serving Christ the King. Well, that's enough for tonight. This is Wild Bill for America. This has been News Bites. Thank you for watching. America, bless God again.